in this lesson. So the main key things we are going to learn is what is friction, what are the advantages of friction, what are the methods to reduce friction, what are the disadvantages of friction. Apart from that, we also study about the types of friction and how we have to apply friction to different applications. So these are the things. So before evaluating that, so now we are studying about the friction. So now we will study about the friction. So what is friction? We studied now. So friction, we studied that friction is a force which opposes relative motion between two surfaces in contact, that is called as friction. So now when we study about friction, friction is a tangential force, So let us view an example to understand about the tangential force. Now you are considering a block, and this block is having a mass m, and its weight will act vertically downward. The weight of that body will act vertically downward, mg, that is called as mg. But its normal reaction will be acting normal to the surface in contact with the body. But this is a normal force. But here we spoke about tangential force. So the force which acts tangentially in this direction. So this tangential force, it will act tangentially, and that is called as friction. And you just see here a normal force and a frictional force are existing. And between these two forces, applying parallelogram law, we get the resultant force. And this resultant force is called as contact force. So just we'll clear again. I'll just explain the concept here. So let us view here. So I'm just clearing. So now here you can see that. One second. So you have a contact force. So here this is a contact force. Let Fc be the contact force. So how we are understanding? So let us take a white screen and then analyze this. So now you are studying now about frictional force. So we studying that friction is a contact force. And friction will be applied tangential to the surface. So now you can see that on a body taken M on a surface, the normal force will act vertically upward, and the tangential force will act in this direction. It will be acting. So now the tangential force is acting in this direction. So that force is called frictional force. They are mutually perpendicular. But there will be a contact force which is acting like this. So a contact force Fc will be acting like this. And let the angle made be some theta. Okay, so now let us analyze this situation. So in this situation, here the frictional force, the contact force Fc. What is Fc? Contact force. That contact force Fc is nothing but the vector sum of the perpendicular forces, frictional force and the normal force. Hence the net contact force is under root F square plus n square, F square plus n square. So this is the formula for the contact force. Now next, let us go to the theta. So what is theta? Theta is called as angle of friction. So how to find angle of friction? So let us see the triangle here. Normal force, here tail, tip. Now tail, tip, that is frictional force, and the tip, tail. You can see this. This is the contact force, and the angle made between them is theta. So now we'll take tan theta. in this triangle. So what is opposite side to theta? Frictional force. What is adjacent side? Normal. So this tan theta is called as mu. So that is called as coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction. So coefficient of friction is tan theta, which is represented by mu, Greek letter mu, that is equal to frictional force by normal reaction. But let us suppose we want only theta. But what is theta? We discuss now only. That is angle of friction. So what is angle of friction? Tan inverse. Either you can write F by N, or you can write tan inverse mu. So the angle of friction here, the angle of friction what you are considering, it will depend on the frictional force and the normal reaction. And when we speak about the mu is coefficient of friction. It depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay, so this is about the friction and the types of friction. So what is friction we studied, and what is tangential? Friction is a tangential force, and why it is caused analytically. If you think, whenever you take two surfaces which are in contact, so let us view the microscopic view of the first surface. So this is the first surface and this is the second surface. So the first surface, by nature it will have some irregularities. Similarly, the second surface also has irregularities. So when there is a relative motion between surface 1 and surface 2, whenever there is a relative motion between surface 1 and surface 2, there will be an interlocking between surfaces, due to the relative motion between the first surface and the second surface, So such type is the result for the interlocking of the surface irregularities is cause for the friction. That is by analytical approach we are saying how friction is caused. But mathematically, friction is a tangential force, and normal force is acting normal to the surface, and a contact force is the resultant force due to the vector sum of the frictional force and the normal force gives the contact force. So contact force is under root F square plus M square. Now we'll go to the angle of friction. What is the formula for the angle of friction? The formula for the angle of friction, theta, is tan inverse frictional force by normal reaction, or it is also called the coefficient of friction. So tan inverse of mu is nothing but called as the angle of friction. Okay, so now let us move on to the next concept, that is frictional force. So frictional force formula we are studying. So the frictional force F is directly proportional to the normal reaction, that is called as loss of friction. So according to the loss of friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. So friction is equal to the proportionality constant mu n. So frictional force is mu n. This is the formula. Okay, so that means friction depends on, first concept, on what factors friction depends. Friction depends on first factor on which it depends. It is one is coefficient of friction. Second one, that is depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. The second point it depends on is normal reaction. So these two factors majorly affect the frictional force, and the calculation formula for it is mu into n. So now let us go to the next point, that is types of friction. So now we are studying the different types of friction. So let us label what are the different types of friction. So friction exists between solids, fluids also. So that's why first we classify the friction for solids. So that is solid friction and fluid friction. Fluids are liquids and gases are regarded as fluids, because of their property of fluidity. So now coming to the solid friction, so here we speak about three different types of friction. So the first type is static friction. Okay, second type is kinetic, or it is also called dynamic, or it is also called as sliding friction. And the third type is nothing but static, kinetic, and rolling friction. Rolling friction. So these are the different three types of frictional force. Three types of frictional force. Now coming to the fluid friction. Fluid friction. Here, fluid friction is caused due to the fluids. Okay, so that is also regarded like the property like viscosity, viscous force, these things. So now that comes in other chapter of your lessons. So now we start our concept with static friction. And whenever static friction exists, the coefficient between surfaces in contact during static friction, that coefficient is called mu s. So that is called coefficient of static friction. Under kinetic friction, it is called mu k. Under rolling friction, it is called mu r. So now for a pair of surfaces, you take a pair of surfaces. What is that pair of surfaces you take on a glass table? On a glass table, you put a plastic bowl or anything. There is a glass table. On this, you put a plastic object or a bowl or anything and start moving it on the glass table. Then there is a friction caused between plastic and glass. So this is one pair of surfaces. Similarly, you can take any pair like glass and wood, wood and steel, so plastic and steel, like that you take many surfaces. In that, in a pair of surfaces, what you can visualize for a pair of surfaces, the frictional, that is the static friction, kinetic friction, rolling friction can exist. Then the coefficient of static friction for a given pair of surfaces is always greater than coefficient of kinetic friction is always greater than coefficient of rolling friction. So now for a pair of surfaces, the coefficient of static friction is greater than coefficient of kinetic friction is greater than coefficient of rolling friction. So now we'll go one by one with an example. So now we'll start up with static friction. Static friction. So what is static friction? Okay, what is static friction? Just see here, static friction. So the static friction is nothing but the friction which comes into play when a body is at rest. That is called as static friction. That is when it is at rest, that friction which comes into play is called as static friction. So let us take one illustration to understand. So now static friction is also called as a self-adjusting force. A self-adjusting force. So now let us view this, children. So now let us take a surface. Let us take a surface. On this surface, we are having a block. We are having a block on the surface. So now let us visualize that the mass of that surface is m. And what are the forces which act on this? Let the coefficient of static friction be mu s first. Okay, so now why the frictional force, static friction is called self-adjusting, let us visualize now. So coming to the visualization, so now what we do is, let us suppose you are applying a force F. So F is the force applied. But let us suppose the limiting static friction will calculate. So we are now introducing a term called limiting static friction. What is limiting static friction? So the maximum static friction is called as limiting static friction, F max of limiting static friction. So that is equal to mu s into normal reaction. So now what is normal here? A surface, a block is kept on a surface. A block is kept on a surface and its weight acts vertically downward. But that is balanced by a normal reaction. From here, we can analyze the normal reaction in this is mg. So that means mu s into mg is the value for the limiting static friction in this case. So normal, whatever it is, let us suppose the normal, is it same for every case, every application? No, we are taking a basic case and doing, but every case it will change. So for this, let us see first. So we'll take one numerical here in this regard to understand more detailedly. Let the mass of the block be some 2 kgs and the coefficient of friction be 0.5. So then what would be its limiting static friction? We'll calculate. And so what is that? Limiting static friction is mu s mg. Now only we have seen. So mu s is 0.5. Let's take g as 10. Okay, 10 meter per second square. Okay, 1 second. 10 meter per second square will take. So now what happens is, now we are having 0.5 into 2 into 10. 2 5s are 10, 1 into 10. So the limiting static friction is 10 Newton, 10 Newton. Now keep it aside. Now first we'll apply a force. So case 1. So different cases I am taking. First case I am visualizing. So now I am applying a force of 5 Newton. So when I am applying a force of 5 Newton, then what is the analysis we can make? That the applied force is less than limiting static friction. So then body will remain at rest. Body remains at rest. Body remains at rest. So when body remains at rest, then what happens? The body does not move. But you have applied a force. You have applied a force is acting. Then unbalanced force should act. Then why the body is not moving? But we know that a body does not change its state unless until an external force is applied. But external force is applied, but still the body is not moving. Means there should be some other force balancing the force applied. That is, the net force should be balanced. That means the applied force should be balanced by some other force such that the net force becomes 0. This is the concept you have to keep in the mind. So thereby the net force applied is 0. But what is net force? Net force, if I take, let us suppose the other force called as friction, which is acting. Let the static friction be acting, be Fs. So then what can I write? F minus Fs is 0. That implies F is Fs. That means the friction acting here is equal to the external force applied. So that means the frictional force here in this case is equal to the force applied. The force applied was 5 Newton. So that means you can analyze that the static friction is acting here, because the static friction is not allowing the body to move, So for that reason, the net force acting, the body is not changing the state of rest. So that means the net force is balanced or equal to 0. What are the net force? The applied force and the frictional force should be equal to 0. That means the frictional force applied depends on the external force applied in this case, and which is equal to 5 newtons, because the applied force is 5 newtons. Let us suppose I apply now 8 newtons. So now I applied in the second case 8 newton. Now we have to check with limiting static friction. So 8 newtons is less than limiting static friction, children. So when 8 newtons is less than limiting static friction, then also the same condition prevails. But now the friction is not 5. The frictional force applied is equal to 8 Newton. That means the force applied here is 8 Newton. Because the frictional force is adjusting along with the applied force. So remember, what is self-adjusting force, children? So self-adjusting force means if the applied force is less than limiting static friction, then the frictional force in that case will be static and is equal to the applied force Hence, the static friction is a self-adjusting force. So all of you remember the algorithm. Whenever you have to find static friction, first you have to check with limiting static friction, less or equal or greater. If it is less, the applied force is less, then limiting static friction. So always static friction exists, and static friction is equal to the applied force, not applied force equal to static friction. Remember that. So this is first illustration. I think it is clear. So let us go to the an example. Let us suppose cases we will take. So first case we now only discussed that we applied a force of 5 Newton. The same problem I am taking I'm taking the same problem, and we will visualize that. So what we'll do is I'm taking the surface. Okay. So on that I'm placing the block like this. So we have taken the mass to be some. So we'll take now some mass. So here the same thing, mass is some 2 kgs I am taking, and what is the weight we are observing, that is 2 into 10, 20 Newton. And let us suppose the coefficient of static friction in this case is 0.5, coefficient of kinetic friction is 0.4. We'll do everything now. Every part we will try to do now. Okay, one by one we'll move on. So now here we are having the normal force. Now we'll draw the analysis. So first we have to check the limiting static friction, children. So I am drawing the normal here. Normal is nothing but equal to weight in this case, which is equal to 20 Newton. Normal is 20 Newton. Now we'll calculate limiting static friction, which is mu s into normal. So that is 0.5 into 20. So 2 5s are 40, 5 2s are 10, sorry. So 0.5 into 10, 100. So 10 Newtons is the limiting static friction. So this is the concept. So now we'll apply one by one different conditions. F is 5 Newtons. We take F is 8 Newtons. We take F is 10 Newtons. That is the external force applied on the body, the external force applied on the body. And F is 12 Newton, so on. And F is some 15 Newton. Just 5 sums we are doing in like a table now. So now just let us take the concept here, table. In this table, we are just taking, one second. We are just taking the analysis here. We are taking 15 Newton. So now see here, the applied force is less than condition. I am checking the condition. So the applied force is less than the limiting static friction. Applied force is less than limiting static friction. Then body does not move. So it will experience static friction. Body does not move. So that means the applied force, net force is 0 now. So for that reason, the applied force is the static frictional force. So the friction acting? Yes, friction is acting, and the friction is equal to the applied force. So that means the frictional force in this case, is equal to 5 Newton. Okay, so this is what we can analyze in this case. Now let us take the situation of 8 Newtons. Let us take one by one the situation of 8 Newtons. One by one we will do. So now here we are considering frictional force. The applied force is 8 Newtons. Still here also the same. Force applied is less than limiting static friction. So body does not move. So applied force is equal to static friction, and static frictional force is equal to 8 Newton. So from this, in first two cases, case 1 and case 2, what you can analyze. So static friction is a self-adjusting force. Okay, static friction is a self-adjusting force. So now we'll take the third case. So now we are taking the third case. Here the applied force is equal to, let us suppose 10 Newton. So what you can analyze, the applied force is equal to the limiting static friction what you have applied. So that means the net force is balanced here, but the body just began to slide. The body just began to slide. So the body, when it just began to slide, so that force at that time, here the limiting static frictional force is equal to the applied force, and it is equal to 10 Newtons. Okay, now we'll apply the fourth case, children, where the applied force is equal to some 12 Newton. So the applied force is greater than limiting static friction, limiting static friction. In that case, body accelerates. Here, the body moves with constant velocity. The body moves with constant velocity. So that means the net acceleration in this case is zero, but it body moves with a constant velocity. But when here body accelerates, when body accelerates, acceleration formula is F minus Fk by m. So now first we'll calculate Fk. What is Fk? So mu k into normal. Mu k is given as 0.4. Normal is weight, which is 20. So the kinetic friction is 8 newtons. So now what is the net acceleration? The applied force is 12. The kinetic friction is 8. The mass 2. So that is 4 by 2. The acceleration is 2 meter per second square. So like this, we calculated the acceleration when a body is undergoing kinetic friction. Kinetic friction. Okay. So now, till now, we have seen how to calculate acceleration. So we have studied how to apply mu s, how to apply mu k. So that is static friction, kinetic friction. So the formula for kinetic friction is mu k into normal. This is what we understood. And the formula for the limiting static friction is equal to mu s into normal. But first, we are seeing one application and deciding what is normal. So let us decide the normal for other things. So let me clear. So now different cases to calculate normal, different cases we are taking to calculate normal reaction. Okay. So first case, we are taking a block on a surface. We are considering a block on a surface. So I'm just drawing a block here. So now M is the mass. So what are the different cases? So first let me give the cases, we will solve it. So now next we'll take an inclined plane. So now third case we'll take. Okay, now one by one we move. So here we have a block. Here the mass on a horizontal surface is this. So first, what are the forces which are acting on it? Let us analyze. So first, the weight will act vertically downward. So that is mg. And a normal reaction acts normal to the surface, that is m. So here normal reaction is mg. Okay, now let us take this inclined plane, inclined at an angle theta. So the weight will always act vertically downward, that is mg. According to the inclined plane, this angle becomes theta. So this becomes mg cos theta, and this component becomes mg sin theta. So now we write the normal reaction normal to the surface. In this case, the normal reaction is mg cos theta. Okay, now we'll take the third case. So in the third case, we take the lift. Already in Newton's laws, we had the idea about the lift. So what is the concept here? If a lift is moving upwards with an acceleration a, then the lift is moving upward, tension will be acting. Okay, so the person who is experiencing in the lift the upward force, so the normal reaction is apparent weight is the normal reaction, that is m into g plus a. That is the formula. So like, just recap I'll do. So you have the weight which is acting downward, tension is acting upward. The tension is only the normal reaction, and the acceleration ma. So ma is equal to, proof you just see the proof for it. So ma is equal to T minus mg. So T, which is equal to normal reaction, is m into g plus a. Similarly, you go with a person moving in a lift. So here normal reaction is what? Here normal reaction is what? The normal reaction is m into g plus a. Now you take a person moving downward in a lift. The lift is moving downward. Tension is a pulling force, always acts vertically upward. So let us take the situation. So here weight is acting downward, acceleration is acting downward, but tension is acting upward. So tension Ma is equal to mg minus t, mg minus t. So in this case, the tension itself is the normal force. So now here we'll write tension is equal to m into g minus a, which is normal. So normally is m into g minus a. Okay. So here normally is less than weight. So now let us take the fifth case. Okay, let us take another case. So now in this case, we will see what is the normal reaction. If a lift is moving and the string cut off, then acceleration is equal to g. So it is falling downward. So normal reaction is m into g minus a. But a is g. So when lift string is cut, so m into g minus g. So here normal reaction is 0. So for a freely falling body, normal reaction is 0. Okay, so now let us take in this case. So now for accelerated frame. So now let us take any other case. What is that? So let us suppose we take a ladder like this, and we are placing the ladder on this. So here there is a contact. So there will be a normal reaction due to first surface. Similarly, you take the second surface. So normal will act due to the second surface and weight will act vertically downward. In this case, N1 can be equal to weight, but N2 is not related to weight, So now we will analyze the different cases of normal reaction. First case. Here in the first application, normal reaction is weight itself. But in the second case, the normal reaction is one of the component of the weight. Similarly, in the third case, the normal reaction is greater than weight. While in fourth case, the normal reaction is less than weight. And in the string cut off in an accelerated frame of a lift, when string is cut off and lift falls freely, in that case, there is no normal reaction. But when we take some other application of ladder, in one case, the normal reaction can depend on weight. In other case, the normal reaction need not depend on weight. So that means normal reaction can be weight, can be a component of weight, can be greater than weight, can be less than weight, need not exist, or it's need not even depend on the weight of the or weight component. So these are the different cases of finding the normal reaction. So why we are concentrating on this? Because the frictional force depends on the normal reaction and it is very important to know about it. Okay, so this is about the different cases of the friction and the normal reaction. So because friction depends on normal reaction and friction is mu into normal. Once you know normal and mu, you can find the friction. So let us go to the laws of friction. So now let us go to the laws of friction. So coming to the laws of friction. So in that, first we'll be studying about the laws of static friction. So for a static friction, the limiting static friction or static friction is equal to mu s into normal. So here, what are the factors that influence the friction? We'll see. So friction depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Very important, nature of surfaces in contact. That is the first thing you have to analyze. Now, second thing we have to remember is friction is independent of area of contact. It does not depend on area of contact. More the area, it does not depend on the area of contact. Whatever may be the area of contact, so friction is independent of the area of contact. And friction depends on nature of surfaces independent of area of contact, and normal reaction, normal reaction. And in case of static friction, friction is a self-adjusting force and it is equal to the external force tending to move it to that limit. Okay, now we have studied the laws of static friction. Now come to the laws of kinetic friction. So kinetic friction is mu k into normal. Here also it does not, depends on nature of surfaces in contact, independent of area of contact, and depends on normal reaction. The third case is rolling friction. So rolling friction is mu r into normal. So now to analyze this, first we will take one application here. So that is the slide we'll move on. So here we have seen the cases where we have seen about the different cases here: static and dynamic and rolling friction, fluid friction. Now we'll analyze the graph which is being given here. So now in this graph we can see that the frictional force, the graph is plotted over the friction and the frictional force versus the applied force, frictional force versus applied force. So now only we have seen the analytical and mathematical approach. As the applied force is increasing, so till the red line here shows that it is at rest, the body is at rest. So that means till the applied force is changing, as you are increasing the applied force will be equal to the static friction. So the static friction becomes equal along with the applied force. So that because static force is a self-adjusting force, so static friction force will be equal to the applied force and proportionately change according to the applied force. That's why, since they are proportional, the static frictional force here, applied force is nothing but proportional to the frictional force. So it is a straight line. But once it reaches the limiting static friction, the applied force reaches the limiting static friction, the body just began to slide. When the body just began to slide, in that case, the body's friction will change from static to kinetic. And you know that kinetic frictional force is less than limiting static friction. The maximum frictional force is limiting static friction. But once it reaches the kinetic friction, the applied force reaches equal to that and increases, then the kinetic frictional force is less than the limiting static friction. So slowly the frictional force reduces, and thereby as the applied force increases, the frictional force decreases and starts moving and maintains a constancy in the friction. So the frictional force becomes Fk. So the frictional force reduces from Fls to Fk initially drastically, and after that Fk remains constant and the body continues to accelerate. So this is about the graph related to the static and kinetic friction. So this is your first module on the friction. So in this class we have studied about what is friction, what are the types of friction, and how we have to mathematically approach to the different types of friction, and what is contact force, what is angle of friction, and the graphical approach of relation between mu s. So when you take mu s, mu k, and mu r, you observe